I'm sorry I had to speak in Hindi language because most of the people who are here are understanding Hindi only. When I am abroad, all the time I am speaking English. Nothing else but English language. And then I want to have some change for a while. Regarding today's great advent of Sri Jesus Christ, I told them that he came on this earth with a very great mission. I would say one of the greatest vision, because he wanted to open the Agya Chakra, which was so constricted and could not be done before. For that he had to sacrifice his life. By that sacrifice only, the great Agya could be opened. He was aware of it. He knew that it has to happen, that he has to somehow accept this sacrifice. As it is, he was a divine personality. He had no problem in doing so, but he thought that could be some other way there by which you can open this Agya Chakra. But he had to sacrifice his life. And in that sacrifice, he has shown that if you have to rise above this mundane, superficial life, you have to, in a way, sacrifice. Sacrifice what? Sacrifice all your 6 enemies. But with the Kundalini awakening, all these 6 enemies completely get detached. Depends on how your Kundalini has risen. If she has risen in a perfect manner, then I've seen people at the first shot, they just become completely self-realized. Of course, there are very few, but they have been. While I see most of you have little problems, and for most of you it is the problem of the Agya Chakra. How do we get the Agya Chakra working so much is this, that we think as a reaction to anything outside. We react to everything. I see here all these lamps. I can react by saying, from where did they get all these? How much it must have cost? Where are they kept all the year round? All kinds of things. I can react. This reaction comes from our conditioning or from our ego. Egoistical people are extremely sensitive. If you give them, say, something that they think is not very dignified, they can feel hurt. They can feel hurt for anything because they have a consciousness that they are something special, something higher people, and one should behave with them when they are dealing with anyone. And that's how they get absolutely disturbed if they find anybody in any way degrading them. This comes from ego. Ego is a part and parcel of the Agya movement. And the second one is your conditioning. Now you have a conditioning. Say you are an Indian. Now the conditioning is that a person who comes to meet you should touch your feet, suppose. That's your relationship. And the person doesn't touch your feet, then you are angry. Anything like that which is your conditioning gives you an idea that you are being insulted or in any way you have not been respected, then you feel bad. The other reactions of ego are like this. As I said, I see those lamps and I can say, why not I have it? Or if I have them, why will I give it to anyone? Ego reactions are there, or conditioning reactions are there. These two were to be finished, and that was done by the sacrifice of the life of Christ. Christ himself was a divine person. And a divine person is like the sea, because it remains at the 0 point, at the lowest point. It does all work from that point. It will make clouds, it will make rain, and when all the rivers are in space, they'll run into the sea. Because the sea remains at the lower point. So humility is one of the criteria of a Sahaja. A person who doesn't have humility cannot be called Sahaja. I have seen even Sahajogis get very angry. Sometimes start shouting and getting angry and misbehaving. That's the sign that he is not yet a Sahajogi, he has to still match. So, this humility of a person will give you more stationary, I would say, more permanent state by which you will not react. You will not react. You look at anything, you react. But then you don't react, you just watch. And that is how the new state or witness state comes into. When you become the witness, you are just watching, not reacting, not thinking about it, but you are in the present. And in the present you just watch and really enjoy it. The enjoyment of all the creation is not within your mind when you are thinking. And when you are not thinking, the whole enjoyment of the beauty of all this creation reflects in you and gives you tremendous joy and peace. So one has to learn that we should not react. The today's problem is all human beings are very good at reacting. Reaction is the basic principle of today's life. See any newspaper, you see any book, you meet anyone, what I find that they are experts on reacting. They react. And by reaction, what happens? They never achieve any essence of the thing. Essence is only through witness state that you can achieve. This is what we have to learn from the crucifixion of Christ, from his birth, that he was born in a very humble family, very poor family, in very adverse conditions. The reason was to show that all these outward things and all these outward glories do not make you great. The greatness is within, and when that greatness is there, then you don't care for it, because you are so much enriched within yourself that you don't bother about other things. You don't think about these things. And you live in your own majestic life. This is what we see in his life. He was a very majestic person. Otherwise, if you meet somebody who is a poor man, say, and who has felt the poverty, he'll talk to you with a beggarish style. If there's somebody who is born in a rich family, he will talk to you in a very, I should say, outwardly showing off nature. But a person who is a divine person, all these things don't touch. For him, riches or not riches, positions or no power is all just the same. And when that happens, then you should consider that you have become Sahajogi. I have seen people who come to Ganpatipura, now they are very much changed. Otherwise in the beginning they used to say, we don't have water, we don't have this facility, it's very cold or hot, whatever it is. They were all the time talking as if they are on a holiday. It is something very different. You are here to develop your witness state. Did you see the sky? How beautiful it was. How orange, blue, all kinds of colors were. The color, it takes automatically and is enjoying it. It is not bothered that it should remain forever, that this will go away when there is darkness. Just watch it. The sky is just watching. Whatever comes its way, it takes it. So, it's so beautiful and it's so joy-giving. So the another thing is that when you are in that state of spirituality, then you are joy-giving, you are peace-giving, you are compassionate, and you love each other. All these problems of the ego just disappear. Ego is your greatest enemy, I think. And it is the one that really hinders all the wealth and beauty of your life. So if you could just see this ego, how it works, just you'll be enjoying it. It's a drama it plays. Alright? Let's have it. You can see the drama and then suddenly you will be amazed that you are not in it, you are watching it. When you are detached from your ego, you can see how it tries to entice you. These are the problems of today, and that's why we need Jesus very much. The problem of today is that people don't understand that how much harm they are doing to themselves, to others, and to the whole world by becoming egoistical. If they could understand, I tell you, they would give up. But the problem is, they enjoy that. They enjoy that kind of meanness, or I would say very low level living. While you are also yogis, what you have to do is to understand why this ego is coming in my head. What have I done? Who am I? Once you go on asking such questions, this ego will disappear. And it's a big problem for me also to deal with people who have ego, because I can't tell them you have got ego. If I tell them, they'll all run away. If I tell them, all right, you are very good, you are very nice, then ego will be bloated. Then they say, oh, mother told us I am very nice. It's very problematic. I don't know how to deal with the ego of human beings. I know they have, but I don't know how to deal with it. I think it's only you can deal with it if you will understand what's wrong with you. That's a very good way of solving your problem and my problem also. My vision is too great, I think, for one life. I want a global realization. I want people all over the world to have realization. It's very remarkable how In such culture, we have a proper training for getting rid of it. You can yourself introspect yourself. You can yourself see why you behave like this. The introspection that Sahaja-yogis can do cannot be done by other people, because they can enter into themselves, they can see for themselves, they can watch others, and with that they can just try to see what is this Mr. Ego doing within your head. Of course, we know that the mantra of Christ is the best for removing all egoistical problems. And that helps a lot. But also, when you are doing this mantra, you should be yourself in a very humble state. What am I, after all? Who am I? Look at so many stars, look at so many beautiful things. Who am I? What have I done? Why should I be so egoistical? Why should I think I am something great? And also other people pamper you because they want to take advantage of you. So they'll pamper you, they'll say, this is very great, you are very great. And you just get enamored, get lost. You are like thrown into the torrential rain and you flood out into big, I think, like a big stream of egoistical people. And if you see around today, in these modern times, everybody is quite conscious of their ego, very conscious. And the way they are coming up in the newspapers or the way they are in some magazines, I'm quite amazed. I would feel shy to be there because it's so much of expression of your ego, nothing else. All kinds of things they start. They have competition of ego, lots of competition. Like they have a beauty competition, then they have another competition for Mr. You can say India, Mr. this thing, that. All these things actually give the person ego, and others also run after such competitions. They think, why am I not? I should be like that. So it's very deadening and absolutely blinds your mind that you think this is the way one has to be very successful. This success lasts for how long? It perishes in no time. But success in Sahaja Yoga is what will last forever, and everybody will remember it. The one who has this kind of a humble nature will be remembered for generations. I've never seen a statue of a person who has been egoistical. On the contrary, if there was some, they used to criticize, he was a very egoistical man. And nowadays it's impossible. Anybody who has ego, I don't think anybody is going to sing any songs about such a person or going to raise any statues in there. So in the heart of hearts, we like humble people. And if we want others to like us, we should be also very humble. Not artificially, but really, by understanding that what are we? Why should we be proud? Why should we try to overpower others and trouble others? If you understand that, you have done full justification to the incarnation of Jesus Christ the Great. And there are so many qualities he has shown, but for us the best is his passing through the ego, sacrificing his life, is the greatest message. And for that we have to understand. But those who call themselves are the most egoistic. I was surprised that English people are extremely egoistical. Or otherwise other countries also have seen in the West. They are very egoistical. They have no humility at all compared to Indians. They are very, very egoistical people. Why? Because they are following Christ. Can you imagine? Is this the way we follow Christ? Those who call themselves Christians and those who call themselves very great admirers of Christ should show in their life that humility, that compassion, that love. It is not so. So especially for people who are from Western countries, you must try to learn Sahaj culture. In a Sahaj culture, how do we talk, how do we live, how do we contact, is something very different. And then once you start Sahaj culture in your life, you'll be amazed. Others will be amazed how you are having rapport with each other, how you are looking after everything so well. This is the best way to live in this world as Sahajogis, where there is no ego, there is no condition, nothing. You are just absolutely free from all these horrible attributes. And then you will be amazed how people will trust you, how they will like you. I wish you all a very happy Christmas. And also remember the message of Christ and His life. May God bless you.